Hey y'all, if I run out of daylight, I'm gonna turn this interior light on. But anyway, this is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Review Season 4, Episode 4. I missed last episode. My bad, y'all, if you happen to care. If not, so moving right along. This episode started off with Stevie in the rehab, and he gets his visit. So of course it's gonna be Jocelyn. She comes down there to have their little conjugal visit. They get to talking, and he's telling her, he wants her to stop letting people push her buttons, because she was telling him how she went to go meet with Mimi, and I guess he could tell that Mimi kind of got her upset or whatever. And he lets her know too that he doesn't want her to be drinking or smoking, because he can't be around the alcohol or drugs for at least a year. And then he tells her, I need you to come talk to my doctor. So we know we're gonna see a scene with them, Stevie J and Jocelyn. Moving along, because I'm going to try to make this real quick, but Tony and Kalina, they're, I guess, at their house. It's big, beautiful, nice house. We see Kalina. I haven't seen her since, I guess last season or whatever. She's very pregnant, where it left off from the last season when she found out she was pregnant. But the sad part about this scene to me is that she's so stressed out. Like, I felt real bad for her, because she kept, like, rubbing her stomach and just telling us that she was stressed out. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that her idiot husband wants her to invest their whole life savings on some club venture, some investment or whatever, and she's not comfortable with that. I don't blame her. I wouldn't be comfortable with doing that either, risking all your money, and then the history between this guy that he's wanting to invest with. It's not a good history. He Kalina's husband ran with him, and all this mess when she was pregnant the first time, and did all this cheating and no telling what else. So I don't blame her why she wouldn't even want, her husband, to be around him. So anyway, moving along to the scene with Carly Red and Rashida. Rashida gets a call from Carly, because she's like, hey, basically I'm cool enough with you. I want to talk about this or whatever, about what she did. What she did was totally trash, but I wish I would have reviewed the last episode, because I did have some thoughts on it. I just never got around to it. But, Rashida and Erica coming to Carly Red's thing, the way they acted so childish. Oh my God, I can't even talk about it. That's how I wish that Jessica Don piece would have swung on one of them, because they was really wrong for them acting the way they did. They were just jealous. They showed their jealousy, like, through and through their their body language and everything. So anyways, but Carly thinks better of it, and she still takes the time to call Rashida and try to work it out. And of course that didn't work out, because Rashida tried to say, she claimed that she brought Erica so they could work it out. The differences Erica and Carly had. Carly, she just basically tells her that's some hater ass shit. Like, what you did, that was some bullshit. I agree. And then they start comparing assets. Like, I have $1 billion business. I have this. I have that. I have a kid. I couldn't understand if that was true. If Rashida had $1 million business out of her home, why it's taking so long for her to get a storefront if that's what she wants. I don't understand that. Rashida calls Carly Red a bird, and then I think she said something about AARP, like she's talking about her age. Rashida has the nerve to talk about somebody's age when she knows good and well they're somewhere around the same age. I don't know how old either one of them are, but no, you're not that far off from each other. So I don't know why Rashida did that. Bag lady. Anyway, moving on to the Stevie J and Mimi scene. Stevie's in church. They give us like some slow music, and he tells us he's changing. Mimi, of course, she tells Stevie about Jocelyn, but you could tell she was kind of watching what she was saying, I guess, because she was in church or whatever. But she did let him know, hey, Jocelyn, your wife, had the nerve to deny, that she put her hands on me, which, yeah, that was pretty, Jocelyn, she's crazy. I mean, if she wants to be real and really, make changes and all that she tried to convince us, she really should have at least acknowledged that she did put her hands, on Mimi. And I mean, she was a real, like they keep calling her animal or whatever. She did act like that on that reunion show. So that's why everybody's not over it. So, Stevie's like, of course, why can't everybody get along? He wants everything to be peaceful. He don't understand why they just can't move past the stuff. And Stevie, he tells Mimi she's gonna go see his doctor, and so somewhere in there he managed to fit in the fact that sorry, not the fact, but try to bring up the point that yeah, he does she still love him or whatever. I think she said yeah, basically. And then side note, for all that she did and gave to us last season about being scared about the sex tape coming out, about how Stevie J was gonna give her hell and make her life hell and all that stuff. I don't see that. Like, it doesn't match from the last season to this season. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I wanted that to happen to her, but she was so afraid of that. And anyway, moving along. 6 minutes already. They're getting along fine, her and Stevie J. And I do think she still loves him. Moving along, Nico and Margot. She moves in the same building, 2 floors down from Nico. But, you know, she says she needs her space. He busts in there and she says, you know, hey, see, this is what I'm saying. You didn't even, like, knock or anything. Which, you're bad. Unless he has a key, you should have had your door locked and then, you know, your safety lock on, he wouldn't be able, but it's all set up because, you know, the camera crew was in there anyway. Side note, it looked like she could take her hat off and just take it off and take the bangs off with it. Those bangs looked like they were attached to the hat. I'm just saying, they were short and orange. I don't know. This scene or whatever, he takes the time to tell her about this book deal with Mimi. She acting so upset. I find it hard to believe. I also want to say, you know, I don't care about, we don't care about the sex tape or none of that stuff no more. It's like she's like a whole like season or 2 late about this whole sex tape thing, and I guess it's just because she needs to give us her reaction. I don't know, but you know, she asked him about, you know, the sex tape. Who are you finally going to tell me the truth? And this was supposed to be, I guess, like the dramatic moment. I was just thinking, does anybody still care? Do we really care? We don't care. We knew Mimi was in on it, but he gonna have the nerve to say that she masterminded the whole deal. I was just like, really? That's the reason why they call him Freako or whatever, because that he ain't right. Moving along, Kadia's the office scene with Kadia being at work and Cena popping up on her job or whatever. She shows up and she's like, excuse me, and Kadia tries to play it off like, oh, yes, I'm with the client, you know, and she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna wait out here. I seen the person in the office that she was excuse me, that was supposedly her client. If that was a real scene, which, you know, I don't know. It just seemed like, okay, would you really stomp that iPad like that in front of that client? Because that was a glass door that client could have seen. But I'm just saying, I peeped that. I don't know if anybody else did, but I had skipped ahead. But that's what she had showed her. It was the video, the booty call. I mean, the booty, whatever her and Jock did in that nasty ass video. She showed it to her, and you know, Cena said she's gonna be a distant memory. Next scene, moving along, the Erica at the law firm, or you know, with the lawyers, her meeting with her lawyer, Scrappy, coming and them all meeting together. It started off cool. I mean, it seemed like it might have been able to go somewhere, you know, decent in the beginning, because the way they introduced each other, everybody smiled. I mean, well, not everybody, Scrappy seemed like, but you know, besides Scrappy, everybody seemed to be all right, but it went bad fast. So because they, you know, started talking about the child support issue, and Scrappy, he wants to settle out of court, but they can't come to this agreement. So Erica says he hasn't paid in 2 years. The lawyers start arguing, my client doesn't know your client, all this crap. Erica's lawyer randomly says, can you pass a drug test? I was like, oh, that's kind of fucked up, you know, but whatever. He says, yes, I can. I guess he done finally figured out how to pass the drug test, because you can't get me to believe he's not smoking. But moving along, the shit was ratchet, and at the end of it, you know, Erica, she says, you know, they're going to court. So moving along to the Jock and KD scene. Katie, I guess she gets off of work, whatever, and she's upset about this whole, you know, Cena coming up there to her job, showing her this ratchetness and all that stuff. So, she says she's going to get back at him or whatever. So she gets him all comfortable and tells him she want to try something different or whatever. Side note, he is so ugly. I would want to tie him up and never come back to him ever again. I wouldn't. I'm not interested in young jock, and I don't understand the attraction, but whatever. So she says she want to tie him up or whatever, and so she does that, and she's like feeding him strawberries and making him think, you know, stuff is about to go good or whatever. And then she goes and gets in something more comfortable. And side note, excuse me. Side note, Kadia, she didn't look bad in her little sexy outfit to me. You know, people make fun of her or whatever, but she's cute, and she wore that little lingerie or whatever that she had on well. So she starts. I skipped over. Well, basically, I remember what happened in the scene. She basically just started whipping him with. He was tied up, and she showed him, you know, the video, and then he tried to deny, and then she starts hitting him a few times, and it seems like I don't know, it just seemed so staged. Because he was at her house, but yet she left. It was just kind of like, you should have tied him up at his house and then left his ass, and then you go home. But whatever. She still says she loves him, but she needs a break. And, you know, I guess, you know, she come back 30 minutes later and they work it out. Who knows? Who cares? So moving along to the Stevie, the rehab scene. He's chilling at the rehab. His lawyer calls and lets him know the bad news. He's been indicted. Failure to pay his child support. You know, he don't want to go to jail because he claims that he's been taking care of his kids. But, you know, his lawyer's like, look, we got to go deal with this straight to New York, you know, after you get out this rehab. So moving along to the next scene, Tony and Kalina, they're at their house scene. Now, this was a lot going on in this scene. Her baby's here. Mimi's there. Mimi says she got baby fever. Like, okay, who's gonna be the baby daddy, Frico or Stevie? And then side note, she tells us, Kalina tells us she has postpartum depression. I think that's really sad. You know, I've heard, I don't have any kids, I never gave birth or been through none of that stuff, but I've heard stuff about postpartum depression, and none of it was good. And so I felt really bad for her. It's not something to be taken lightly. So I hope, you know, she's doing better and past that. She's telling me how, you know, Tony wants her to risk all her money for this club, and all of a sudden Carly, Jessica, Dime piece, they come through, and they start talking. Jessica starts telling everybody how she knew Jocelyn, Chanelica Benacord or whatever. She says all that again, and of course, you know, Mimi, she don't want to talk about Jocelyn. Side note, Kalina, she likes Jessica Dime. She's like, ooh, you know, and then she appreciates her body and all that. And then Mimi, you know, she takes this opportunity to tell Jessica Dime she has a management company. Sorry, y'all. And Dime, she starts asking about who her artists are, and she says Tiffany Fox. I think she says that she heard of Tiffany Fox before, but that, you know, she didn't really have a buzz or something. And then Carly tells them about the drama with Erica. Moving along to this Stevie J and Jocelyn, the doctor scene. She goes to see Stevie and meet with his counselor. And the doctor, you know, he tells them about his recommendations. So Stevie doesn't relapse. Like, you know, he needs to quit drinking and quit using for at least a year. And then he wants her to promise, you know, that she'll stay clean too, to support and that, which she does. But she does throw out there a few things, like basically she doesn't want to. She doesn't really understand why she got to be punished, basically, is what she said. But at the end, you know, she says she's gonna do it for him, and then he has to tell her about the indictment. Stevie has to tell Jocelyn about the indictment, and of course, you know, she's just like, oh my God, this is too much. Which I could just imagine. She started getting her feelings. She you know, she said he's controlling and he never acknowledges her, and she wants to be respected as his equal, and dealing with him and not using her drugs or whatever it is that she does to unwind or whatever, relax, all that stuff. I'm curious to see how the rest of the season's gonna go. So the final scene with I think it was a scene. Margot and Jocelyn side note, Margot, she kind of gets on my nerves. She's a cute girl, but she's kind of getting on my nerves. But you know, Jocelyn, she walks in with her Carol Brady wig. Everybody's talking about that damn wig. I do want her to take that wig off her head and throw it real far and not think about it again. But I don't know. We'll see if she retires that wig after this. Because I'm sure the next episode she's going to have that damn wig on. And her and Margot are going to sit down and talk. And Margot's going to tell her, or, you know, kind of, I don't know, beat around the bush to tell her about the whole truth with this sex tape and stuff. And my question is this: if any of y'all watching, if y'all have an opinion on this, comment, message, whatever, do what you got to do to try to let me know if y'all care about this damn sex tape anymore. Like, the sex tape is so old. I'm over it. So it just seems like they would already be giving it seems like they would know that they need to give us something else to be, you know, excited for, to like bring on the drama with Jocelyn and Jessica Dime or whatever. But anyways, that was pretty much the episode, y'all. Thanks for watching if you watched, and like, comment, subscribe, and all of that. See y'all in the next video. Bye.